Before you get started, whenever you're working on a client project, you always want to come up with a list of assets so that you can stay organized and also so that you can nail down where you need to get your assets from. Now, 9 times out of 10, the client will provide you with quite a few assets, but not always. It depends on the job. So I created this list for you guys. It's going to be in the Workfiles folder, in a folder appropriately named Dark Tower. And this is the kind of list I always come up with when I'm about to do a project, either for myself or for a paying client. So I break it down into the categories, the art assets. Now, since this is going to be based on Stephen King's awesome Dark Tower series, and by now you guys know I love this series, we need to get the book covers, and we can find that online. We're not going to sell this sizzle reel, so I'm not really worried about any copyright issues. Typically, when you use things that you're going to resell, you might run into problems, but we're just doing this as an exercise. The desert background, we need that as well because that's a pretty important component to the theme of the sizzle. We're going to start off with the very first scene in the novel where the gunslinger is supposedly chasing after the man in black in the desert. We need a sunset, cactus, and for the last part of our reel, we need the Dark Tower silhouette. We need some dust clouds, and we can use any kind of clouds for that. Audio assets, we need a voiceover, and I'll be providing that for you guys. I'm going to record the voiceover for that. Sound effects, we could use probably some wind, and who knows, maybe some music. So what about resources? Where do we get these things from? Well, one of the things I like to provide you guys with is free resources. So, you don't have to pay for anything. So we're going to check Google. Now, keep in mind, some of the stuff we're going to be using does belong to someone. So we're not going to sell this. Once again, this is just going to be for practice. cgtextures.com is a really good website to get textures for all kinds of cool things and images. All right. Just get a free membership and you'll be able to download all kinds of cool stuff. burningwell.org, another great spot to get images. And for sound effects, we're going to go to freesound.org. Likewise, if you're on a Mac or on a PC, of course, there are many applications that you can use to create sound. On the Mac, I'll be using GarageBand if I need to make some music or some loops or that kind of thing. I also think there's an app on the PC called Fruity Loops, if I'm not mistaken. So you might want to do a search for that. So once again, guys, this is a look at an example of an assets list. It's invaluable so you can start to plan and get all of the preparation out of the way so that when you're ready to dive into the project, there's no guesswork.